Hello, it's Jackie Shulkin, and this is video number 5 in my series about American government and civic participation. This video is the continuation of the last video about Congress. In this one, I'm going to combine powers and functions of Congress as well as the legislative process. So, powers of Congress. We have the powers granted by the Constitution. They could be enumerated or implied. Enumerated means that they are explicitly granted to Congress. Implied are the powers that Congress can assume according to the Elastic Clause, which the court interpreted in a looser way in McCulloch versus Maryland, as we saw in an earlier video. Limits on Congress. This is included in Article 1, Section 9. So, ex post facto laws outlaw acts after they have already been committed. Congress can't pass an ex post facto law. A bill of attainder punishes an individual outside of the court system, so clearly can't be done because we have due process of the law and all of this stuff where it would not make any sense to pass a bill of attainder. And also suspending the writ of habeas corpus, which is basically a court order requiring the federal government to charge individuals arrested for crimes. They can't suspend that except during times of national emergency, and the purpose of habeas corpus is that basically people can't just be randomly arrested and not charged and not told why they are being arrested. So power in a bicameral legislature, both the House and the Senate must pass identical versions of a bill and of a declaration of war, for example. Unique powers of the House. They propose all tax bills. So a tax bill cannot originate in the Senate. They could also impeach a federal official. That includes the president. Impeachment is the process of formally charging a government official with an offense serious enough to warrant removal from office. Now, in the history of the United States, 2 presidents have been impeached, these being Andrew Johnson and more recently Bill Clinton. They were both acquitted. So, powers of the Senate. They approve presidential appointments to key federal offices, confirm all federal judicial appointments, ratify treaties, and try impeached officials. So in an impeachment, they're basically like a type of jury. Functions of Congress. Representing the people. Basically, the members have to serve their constituents. In other words, the people that vote for them. Okay, so since that's pretty short, I'm putting in this piece into this video as well, which is the legislative process. So, public versus private bills. A public bill affects the public as a whole, whereas a private bill grants some relief or benefit to a single person who is named in the bill. Many help foreign nationals obtain visas, but they can cover a variety of other matters as well. So, the process of how a bill becomes a law. Step 1, introduction. Only a member of Congress may introduce a bill. Now, it's important to note that anyone can suggest a bill. This is part of what the president does, especially in the State of the Union, for example. And anybody can write a bill that includes the average citizen. However, only the member of Congress may actually introduce the bill. So, after the bill is introduced, it is assigned a designation number. Only members of the House may introduce bills concerning taxes and basically concerning money in general. So spending money, collecting revenue, all that stuff only in the House. Step 2, referral to committee. The leader of the chamber in which the bill was introduced then refers the bill to an appropriate committee. Step 3, committee action. The committees can refer the bills to subcommittees for action, hearings, markup sessions, and votes. It can also kill a bill by doing nothing at all, a process known as pigeonholing. Step 4, referral to the full chamber. If a committee approves the bill, it is then sent on to the full House or Senate. Step 5, floor debate and vote. The full chamber debates the bill and then votes. So in the House, the House Rules Committee has the power to limit debate and the number of amendments offered. They have what is called a roll call vote, and basically every member's vote is recorded. In the Senate, senators speak for as long as they wish and propose as many amendments as they wish. There is no Senate Rules Committee. Step 6, Conference Committee. If the two chambers produce different versions of a single bill, both appoint members to a conference committee which works to combine the versions. After its report, both chambers must vote on the new bill. Step 7, the President. The President's legislative duty is to sign or veto bills passed by Congress. This can be done in various ways, which I'm going to explore in a lot more detail in a later video. But in basic terms, if the President signs the bill, it becomes law, and if there is a veto, it goes back to Congress, which can override with a 2/3 vote in both chambers. However, this is fairly rare, but it can be done. So, the budget. The fiscal year is a 12-month period used for accounting purposes. It begins the first day of October, and Congress has the power to change the starting day. It's abbreviated FY. So Congress must pass a budget for every fiscal year, and the President's job is to submit a budget proposal to Congress every January for the next fiscal year. So because this is a very long process, they do start pretty early. Congress must then act on the proposal. They usually give the President most of what he or she wants, but in any case, they discuss and then they pass the budget. So to prevent a government shutdown, they must pass the budget by the end of the fiscal year. Okay, spending money. Congress must first authorize the money. Authorization is a declaration by a committee that a specific amount of money will be made available to an agency or department. Secondly, Congress must appropriate the money by declaring how much of the authorized money an agency or department will spend. Sometimes appropriation bills come with strict guidelines for spending money. Now, Congress usually ends up creating an appropriation bill for each government department, although sometimes departments are combined into a single bill. Each bill must be passed for that department to receive funding. Some appropriation bills are very easily passed, however, others can be very controversial. So, for this reason, continuing resolutions. By the start of each fiscal year, as I said, Congress must pass appropriation bills for every part of government. If a bill is not passed, then the department whose budget is being discussed will shut down and all non-essential employees will be out of work. A continuing resolution provides funding for a limited time, usually a week or two, so Congress can take extra time to agree on the budget. So that's all for today's video. Please be sure to share and stay tuned for the next one. I hope this has been useful, and thanks for watching. Bye!